Not too long. Well, he said it's been a year since his surgery, the shoulder surgery. He was hoping to get back into swing, and now he's back to the Olympia. You will see him at the Olympia next year. It was a tough battle, but we did it. Thank you.
Michal Krizo's story begins in a small, dusty gym on the outskirts of his hometown. The air was thick with the smell of iron and effort. The weights were old, the equipment worn, but for Michal, this was the birthplace of his dream. He was an ordinary young man with enormous ambition, standing under dim, flickering lights that would one day lead him to the brightest stage in bodybuilding history. At first, every lift was a struggle. His hands blistered, his arms shook, and his back ached with pain. There were days when quitting seemed easier than continuing. But Michal wasn't built to quit. He saw something different in his reflection, a spark, a promise of who he could become. In those early years, pain became his teacher and determination his friend. He learned that strength wasn't built overnight. It was forged day after day in silence, away from the spotlight. While most slept, Michal was already in the gym, chasing perfection. The sound of weights clanging became his heartbeat, the rhythm of his destiny. Every drop of sweat told its own story, a story of sacrifice and hope. Friends laughed, critics doubted, and many said he was dreaming too big. But Michal turned every doubt into fuel. He trained harder, ate cleaner, and pushed himself until his body answered his mind's call. Every set, every rep was a step closer to becoming the man he envisioned. Soon, the quiet boy from a small town was beginning to transform into a force of nature. Local bodybuilding competitions became his testing ground. He walked onto those stages with a mix of fear and pride, wearing not just a spray tan and trunks, but years of effort written on his physique. The crowd began to take notice. His physique carried a powerful message: discipline works. Each competition taught him something new: how to pose, how to present, and most importantly, how to rise after a loss. When he didn't win, he went back to the gym, not in anger, but with purpose. When he did win, he celebrated briefly and then got back to work. His name began to make waves. Fans admired his balanced aesthetic, massive frame, and charismatic stage presence. Coaches saw potential, something rare and special. The bodybuilding industry started whispering his name with respect. Michal Krizo was no longer just a competitor. He was a rising star, someone destined for the grand stage. But success is never given. It is earned through fire. The deeper he went into the sport, the tougher it became. Diets got stricter, workouts longer, and expectations heavier. Each day was a battle, against exhaustion, against doubt, against the part of himself that wanted to rest. But every time his body wanted to stop, his spirit reminded him why he started. The boy who once trained alone in a dusty gym was now preparing to stand among giants. And then came the moment that would change everything. His invitation to the Mr. Olympia stage. The dream of every bodybuilder. The arena where legends are made and immortality is carved in muscle and pose. When Michal received that call, he didn't celebrate wildly. He smiled quietly, knowing that the real work had just begun. The weeks leading up to Olympia were brutal. Training sessions felt endless, and meals were no longer food. They were fuel. He pushed through fatigue, through hunger, through moments of doubt. He sculpted every inch of his physique to perfection, knowing that millions would be watching. The responsibility was heavy, but Michael carried it with pride. Finally, the night arrived. The lights glared down on the shimmering stage. The roar of the crowd thundered through the arena. Competitors lined up, muscles gleaming under the spotlight. Michael stood among them, heart pounding, yet calm. He had dreamed of this moment since he first picked up a dumbbell. Years of sacrifice had led him right here. When his number was called, he stepped forward. The music rose, the audience fell silent, and then Michael posed. Every movement was precise, every flex an explosion of control and confidence. The crowd erupted. For a few minutes, time seemed to stop. Michael wasn't just a bodybuilder. He was a storyteller, showing the world what discipline and belief could create. His transformation was not just physical, it was spiritual. He had turned every no he ever heard into this shining, unforgettable moment. Although not every competition ends with a trophy, Michael's victory was already complete. He had proven to himself and to the world that greatness is possible when you refuse to surrender. He returned home not as the same man who once dreamed in a dusty gym, but as a symbol of what hard work truly means. In time, Michael used his experience to mentor others. He opened his own gym, not a fancy showroom of mirrors, but a place of raw ambition. He trained new lifters, sharing his story, reminding them that glory doesn't come easy. It is earned one rep at a time. He became a guiding light for many who once stood where he began. Michal Krizo's story is more than a bodybuilding journey. It's about courage when no one believes in you. It's about patience when results are slow. It's about embracing pain, not fearing it. He started as a boy chasing a dream and became a man who embodied it. His legacy goes beyond medals. It lives in every dreamer lifting weights, in every soul that refuses to give up. Because Michal Krizo didn't just build a body, he built a legend.